Welcome to the Deep Dive, your source for essential knowledge. And just a quick note before we start. This AI Daily Deep Dive was researched and generated entirely by AI.
That's right.
Our mission today, to explore the top 5 really pivotal AI news stories making headlines today, Saturday, June 28, 2025. Okay, let's unpack this.
Sounds good. It's pretty amazing, isn't it, how fast AI is moving into, well, almost everything, from safety stuff to big company moves.
It really is, and we have to start with something quite concerning, actually. This trend of AI being used to amplify sextortion scams on dating apps. It's hitting young people particularly hard.
It's a serious issue. The FBI's definition, it involves coercing victims, often kids and teens, into sending explicit images, then threatening to release them.
Right.
But the AI angle here, it really changes the game. It makes sophisticated manipulation, well, much easier for scammers. They use AI for these super convincing fake profiles, automated bots. Yeah, bots that mimic romantic interest. They can juggle multiple victims at once using deepfakes or really polished photos. It's getting harder to spot.
Wow. And the statistics are just chilling. You see 28% of UK students targeted.
Yeah.
And in Australia, 40% of teen sexual extortion cases now involve AI-manipulated stuff.
Exactly.
And that tragic story about Ryan Lass, the 17-year-old, it just shows the devastating real-world impact.
It really does. So vigilance is just key.
Yeah.
You need to look for those warning signs. Repetitive, sort of bot-like chat, profiles that seem way too perfect, images that don't check out on a reverse image search.
Okay.
The golden rule really has to be if something feels off, you have to speak up. Report it immediately, because once that content is out there digitally, you've lost control.
That's sobering advice. Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Yeah.
From personal safety to how AI is changing, well, how we get information, Google just launched Search Live mode, June 18th, for iOS and Android. Seems like a big step for AI search.
It is significant. What's really different is the interaction. It's dynamic, bidirectional. You tap this new live icon, talk to Gemini.
You talk to it?
Yeah, you speak to it, and it speaks back while also showing websites on screen. But the key thing is you can interrupt it. Ask follow-up questions, change the subject instantly. It feels much more like a real conversation.
So what kind of things is it good for? Like real-world examples. Could it keep up with, say, fast-breaking news?
Absolutely. You could ask for, a detailed verbal summary of the Israel-Iran situation, then immediately ask about a specific politician's tweet on it or related laws. It adapts.
Okay.
Now, for more speculative stuff, like how will this affect mortgage rates, it gives more general answers. Brief analysis. That's still us, humans. But Google's Liza Ma mentioned using it hands-free for finding hiking trails, that kind of thing. Practical stuff, too.
Right. Practical uses. Speaking of platforms with tons of data.
Yeah.
Reddit. It just turned 20.
20 years.
Yeah. And they're going big on AI. How does a platform that's all about human content handle this AI wave?
Yeah.
Seems tricky.
It is tricky. They've launched something called Reddit Answers. It's an AI tool that summarizes discussions from the site. But, and this is crucial, it links prominently back to the original human conversations.
Ah, so transparency, trying to keep the credit where it's due.
Exactly. It's about trust and authenticity. And they are actively watching for AI spam and manipulation, which is even more important now.
Makes sense.
And behind the scenes, they're using AI quite a bit for moderation, for safety, helps them scale across all those subreddits. Plus, commercially, Reddit's data is gold for training AI models. So they're doing licensing deals. Google, OpenAI, their CTO, Chris Slow, basically said, look, we aren't a charity.
Fair enough. It's valuable data. Now, related to that, the infrastructure. Building these AI models takes massive computing power. And here's a twist. OpenAI is apparently renting AI chips from Google now for things like ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's a pretty big development.
Yeah.
Historically, OpenAI leaned heavily on NVIDIA GPUs and Microsoft's cloud.
Right, Azure.
Exactly, but now they're using Google's custom chips, the TPU's tensor processing units. Why? Well, demand is soaring, costs are high, and they likely need to diversify their hardware suppliers. It's actually their first real use of non-NVIDIA chips at scale, which also lessens their dependence on Microsoft a bit.
Interesting. So is it just about saving money, or are there bigger strategic plays here?
Cost efficiency is definitely a big part, especially for inference, running the models once they're trained, but it's also about de-risking, spreading their bets on hardware. It sets a precedent for the industry, really.
And Google?
Well, Google isn't renting them their absolute top-tier TPUs. They are competitors after all, but still, if this trend continues, it could start to chip away at NVIDIA's dominance in the AI hardware space. We might see a more diverse market.
Fascinating. Okay, last point, and it's a big one, maybe the biggest for us personally. As AI gets everywhere, is it dulling our ability to think critically?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Critical thinking, basically careful thinking, interpreting, questioning, really looking closely. It's not our brain's automatic mode. And yes, it could be under threat. There was a McKinsey study, found only like 27% of companies said their employees review all AI output before using it.
Only 27%. Wow. So AI's convenience is a double-edged sword. It feeds that automation bias, right? Where we just trust the machine. I mean, we've all followed GPS down a dead-end street at some point, haven't we?
Yeah.
Trusting the tech over our own eyes.
Precisely. We default to trusting it. But the good news is critical thinking is a skill you can learn and improve. And it pays off better job performance, less burnout for leaders who have strong skills.
So how do we practice it with AI?
You can actively engage with it. Ask why. Questions about its output. Treat it like a thinking partner, but one you need to challenge. Ask things like, okay, how did you get that result? Or why is this recommendation the best one? Don't just accept the first answer.
All right, push back a little. Make the AI justify itself. Okay, we've covered a lot today, from AI's dark side with Sextortion to Google's conversational search, Reddit's AI integration, the chip wars with OpenAI and Google, and finally, how we keep our own minds sharp.
It really shows how AI is weaving itself into, well, everything.
Yeah.
The info we get, the tools we use. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. Given how deeply AI is getting integrated, what personal habits are you putting in place? How are you making sure you stay in control, the master of your own thinking, and not just passively consuming an AI-shaped reality?
So what does this all mean for you?